back to Math Expressions with Miss Hasty. Today we're going to begin lesson 6-8. There's quite a bit to cover in 6-8, so we're going to break it into two parts. So today we're going to do part 1, and then I'm going to go through 6-8 remembering, and then tomorrow we'll do part 2 and do the 6-8 homework side. Okay? So you are going to begin in your activity book on page 261 and 262 are the two that we're going to cover today. And the lesson is on equations in parentheses. Sometimes when we have multi-step word problems, we put part of our equations in parentheses so that we do that operation first and then we follow up with the second part of the problem. All right, so hopefully you have 261 up. And follow along. Writing and solving equations to find the amount of money each student spent at the school bookstore. So, number 1, Tom, he bought 1 eraser for 59 cents and 6 pencils for 15 cents each. All right, so the 1 and the 59, that would just be an add-on later. But we have 6 pencils at 15 cents each, so we're going to use parentheses for that. Get my pen going here. Okay, so parentheses, and we're going to do 59 cents. Oh, let me erase that. Sorry, guys. We're going to start with the parentheses for our 6, right? 6 pencils times 15 cents, okay? So we're going to do that math first, and then we're going to add the 59 cents for the 1 eraser to get our total answer. So you're going to do that math, 0.15 times 6, and then you're going to add your 59 cents, and your answer, when you are all done, should be $1.49. So do the math and make sure that's the answer that you get for all of these problems. Number 2, Jay bought 8 book covers for 90 cents each and 1 pen for 49 cents. So our 8 and 90 cents, that's going to go into the parentheses. So 8 times 90 cents to figure out how much he paid for all the book covers, and then a pen for 49 cents. Okay? So do the parentheses first and then add your 49 cents, and your total is going to be $7.69. Number 3, Joe bought 12 notebooks for $1.75 and 1 marker for $1.59. Okay, so here we have 12 notebooks times $1.75 and then only 1 marker. So we're going to add that in the end. And after you do your math, you should come up with $22.59. Number 4, Bo bought 1 pen for $2.50, so that's a loan. 6 portfolios for $1.25. Now we can start with the $2.50 plus, and then we're going to put our 6 portfolios times $1.25 in the parentheses. Okay, so we're going to get this answer. Add it to your $2.50, and your total, when you are all done, should be $10. That's how much they spent. Number 5, Todd had 3 watercolor brushes for $2.39 each and a pencil sharpener for 89 cents. Okay, so what's going to go on our parentheses? Well, we have more than one of the watercolor brushes. We have 3. So 3 times $2.39, and then you're going to add your 89 cents. And your total, when you are all done, should be $8.06. So do the math, check your work, make sure those are the answers you get. Okay, moving down here, solving equations with parentheses, some more examples. On another piece of paper, obviously a piece of loose leaf, solve each equation and write the answer here. So this is more practice with performing the operation in the parentheses first and then moving to the next operation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write your answers here. So number 6, you're going to do 5 times 60 and then subtract 2 to solve for n. And when you solve for n, after you do your math, check your work and make sure you get 298. Number 7, You're going to do first 4 divided by 0.1. Remember, your decimal's on the outside, not on the inside. So then you're going to add 1 to the inside, move the outside decimal. Let me just go ahead and show that real quick, just as a reminder. 4 divided by 0.1. When you have 1 on the outside and not on the inside, you add 1 to the inside, move the outside 1, and move the inside 1 the same amount. Then you can rewrite the problem. Because the decimal's at the end of 40, you don't need it then. So perform the operation on the inside of the parentheses first and then the outside. And when you're all finished, you should get 42.5. Okay? Number 8, we have 1.5 minus 1/8. You need to get a common denominator there to do your subtraction, and then multiply it by 3, and you should get 4 1/8 when you are finished. Number 9, 2 divided by 1/4. Remember, the 2 goes over 1. Turn that into multiplication by flipping the second fraction. Okay, so it would become 4 over 1, and then subtract 1, and your answer will be 7 when you're finished. Number 10, you have 1 3/4 divided by 3, and then you're going to add 1/4 once you find that answer. For this one, remember this 1 3/4, you have to turn it into an improper fraction before you can perform that. 3 over 1 and flip, find the reciprocal of the second fraction. And when you're all done, you should get 5/6. Number 11, you're going to take 2/3 times 6 first, because that's in parentheses. And then get your answer and add 10. And your final answer should be 14. Number 12, 0.7 times 2. You're going to do that operation first. And then subtract your answer from 1.55. And you should get 0.15 when you're all done. And number 13, you're going to take 0.01 times 100, get that answer first, and then subtract 1 to get the answer for W, and W equals 0 when you're all done. Okay, let's go ahead and move to 262. This will be the second page that we're going to do today, and then we'll move on to remembering. Okay, so let's go through our story problems here. Again, multi-step, so we're going to be putting part of it in parentheses if necessary. Okay. 14. A suburban shopping mall has 105 rows of parking spaces with 45 spaces in each row. A special permit is required to park in 630 of those spaces. How many spaces do not require a special permit? Well, first we have to figure out how many spaces altogether. Oops. So we're going to take that 105 times 45 to find out how many spaces there are. And then we're going to subtract the 630 that do require a permit. And then you're going to find out how many do not require a permit. Okay? And once you perform that operation, you should get 4,095 spaces. So do the math, check your answer, make sure you have the right answer. 15, a recipe that makes 6 servings requires 1 1/4 cups of flour. How much flour would be needed to make the recipe for 1/2 the number of servings? Now this is only a one-step problem, although sometimes we see 3 numbers and it's like, oh, we have 3 numbers to work with. But it's 1 1/4 cups of flour for 6 servings. We're going to make half of that. So all we need to do is take a half times our 1 1/4, okay? And that's going to give us our answer. Remember this, you need to turn into an improper fraction. And you, to check your work, should get 5/8 cup flour when you're done. 16, an apple orchard in Minnesota has 8 rows of 26 Honeycrisp trees and 14 rows of 23 Red Delicious trees. How many Honeycrisp and Red Delicious trees are in the orchard? Okay, we're going to use 2 sets of parentheses here because we have a couple of different things we need to do. first we have to figure out how many Honey Crisp by taking 8 times 26. And we're going to find out how many are there in all of Honey Crisp and Red Delicious. So we're going to add that answer to how many Red Delicious, which is 14 rows times 23. So take your 8 times 26 and your 14 times 33, add them together, and all together you should get 530 trees. Check your answer there. Okay, moving on to number 17. An investor purchased 250 shares of stock. Calculate, whoopsie, my notebook shut off. That's okay. Technology, guys, what are you going to do, right? All right, so an investor purchased 250 shares of stock. Calculate the investor's total cost if the price per share was $18.40 and a fee of $65.75 was charged for the transaction. So first we have to figure out how much the shares cost in all. So our equation is going to be, here we go. Let me get my pen out again. Sometimes it turns off on us. Okay, so we have, one more time, 250 shares of stock at $18.40 per share. Once we solve that, then we also have to add in this extra fee of $65.75. Okay, and total cost, all said and done, is $4,665.75. So check your answer. Number 18, an orange grove in Florida has 865 amber sweet trees and 32 rows of 40 sunstar trees. How many more sunstar than amber sweet trees does the orchard have? Well, first we have to figure out all together the sunstar trees. So we're going to take our 40 times our 32 and then subtract the amber sweet trees that we know we have to figure out how many more. And there is 415 more trees. And that's the answer you should get in the end. Number 19, a manufacturing facility records the time its employees work each week in fractions of an hour. Talia works 25.5 hours, Avery works 7 3/4 hours, and Claire works 39 1/4 hours. How many more hours did Claire work than the combined hours of Talia and Avery? Well, first we need to have Talia and Avery. We need to figure out what their hours are. Talia and Avery. Okay. All right, and then Claire, we're going to take this number and subtract it from Claire's to figure out how many more hours Claire worked than the both of them combined. Okay, and then your answer when you're all done should be 6 more hours. Okay, that concludes part 1 of 6-8. Those are the first 2 pages. And again, tomorrow we will look at the second 2 pages of 6-8 in part 2. So let's go ahead to the remembering side. We're going to have you do the remembering side today. We'll go over that and remind you of a few things that you need to do. Okay, so remembering side 1 through 8 is multiplying. Okay, and double digits. Just remember when you move over to the tens place in the second row, add a 0 first before you start your multiplying. Okay, 9 through 12. Well, 9 and 10 are dividing. Okay, they have decimals on the inside and the outside in number 9. So move your decimal on the outside, move the decimal on the inside, the same amount. 10 doesn't have a decimal on the inside, so you're going to add 1, then move the decimal on the outside. Looks like 2 times, so you're going to move the decimal on the inside 2 times and rewrite your division problem. And 11 and 12 are multiplying decimals. Do your multiplication first, just like you did in 1 through 8, and then count how many decimals are in your factors. So in number 11, there's 4 decimals spaces, okay? And then in your product needs to be 4 decimal spaces. Number 12, there's 2 decimal spaces, so your product has to have 2. All right, 13, Lindsay is shopping for a new CD player. The cost of one CD player she's considering is $56.55. The cost of a higher price CD player is $14.25 more. What's the cost of the higher price CD player? So you're going to take those two and add them together to get the cost. Okay, and I'm not going to give you the answer on that, but I will at the end of the day for the remembering. 14, stretch your thinking. Use the equation below to write a word problem. So you're going to have to go back a few lessons when we wrote word problems. Leave out one piece of information that is needed to solve the problem. Describe the information that should be included. So here is the equation, okay? And tomorrow in part B, we're going to be learning about too much information or too little information. So if this is a little bit of a challenge to you right now, that's okay. Because after tomorrow, I think it'll be more understanding for you. So then maybe you can go back and do your stretch your thinking after tomorrow's lesson. Okay, that concludes part 1 of lesson 6-8. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for the second half of 6-8.